What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be a curator today. Guys, I'm going to be a curator and slash referee for our second part of our What If series. What if Mego, the Mego monsters, challenged the Neca monsters for the top spot in the toy realm and in the toy store aisles. We have more combatants today that's arrived from both sides to do battle, to claim or try to claim your hard-earned money in a toy aisle. As we have so many combatants, I couldn't get everything up here, so we'll be switching out from time to time to make our points and point some things out, you know, and get your views as well. Guys, we have a fun lineup for you. As you can see, Neca has no limit to what licensing rights they have. They have a little bit of everything. Something that I believe Mego is still working on. Mego's getting there, though. Mego's getting there. And we talked a little bit about the modern horror versus classical horror. And I think that's pretty much where Mego is trying to make their money at. Capturing or recapturing the 1940s and 50s horror genre, if you will, from the collectors. Whereas Neca, once again, I said Neca has such a wide range of licensing characters and just everything. Just a huge range of characters for their licensing rights. Their Neca's modern monster line is just fantastic. As we look, I keep panning towards my Wes Craven's New Nightmare Freddy Krueger figure, because he's absolutely gorgeous, horrifyingly gorgeous, if you will. That sounds better. This figure at one point in time was located in Target. I didn't buy this particular one from Target because I want my figures a certain way. So I got this from Big Bad Toy Store because it was a collector's grade. Pretty much all of my NECA figures, if I can help it, are purchased under that collector's grade banner because I am such a such a crazy fanatic when it comes to my mint on card, mint and package figures being a certain way. And this figure right here checks all the boxes for me. Not just because it's a collector's grade, but because it's just a beautiful, beautiful figure. It shows a wide range, like I said, of how powerful NECA truly is and how gifted the people that work for NECA truly is. I mean, look at the head sculpts here on this Freddy Krueger figure. There's his hat. I mean, and the gloved talons, if you will. Beautiful. He's got his jacket is behind him, his long overcoat with the same iconic color design. And when you see this figure, and I'm trying to find something modern here from Mego. And Mego has made an effort, guys. They've made an effort. As we look at our Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter figure, they've made an effort. We're looking at our Scary Stories. Let's bring them in here. All right, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I believe this is the Harold Scarecrow. I give Mego credit for even attempting to try to produce and manufacture this character in 8-inch action figure form. This poor figure right here, Harold Scarecrow figure, came under heavy scrutiny by the Mego collectors community and collectors in general and fans of the movie. Wasn't very well received, but this was Mego's foray into modern horror, if you will. They're trying, and it would be unfair to try to match Harold against Freddy. It's not a contest. What do you think, guys? Does Harold stand a chance? Because at the end of the day, guys, I'm just going to mediate this discussion. But I want you guys to make final judgments and decisions right underneath this video, guys, in the comment section. I believe Harold matches up better with our Ghostface from the movie Scream, I believe. I believe they have a new one coming out too. You saw both of these figures in a toy store aisle. Which one would you pick up? Be honest. Be honest with yourself, guys. We're not going to sugarcoat anything here today. We're not going to We're not going to pull any punches. If a punch lands squarely on the jaw of Mego Corp, or if a punch lands squarely on the jaw of Neca Toys, so be it. Feelings are probably going to get hurt, but it won't be because we're not being honest, we're not being forthright with our information. That'll be for you guys to judge. I'm a big fan of the Scream franchise, the Ghostface killer, if you will. Came out in the late 90s. And then you have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is a much more updated film, I believe, 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Much more updated. But does that make a difference? Did Mego get it right? Did they get it right enough that if you guys saw these two figures sitting in a toy store shelf together, would you get it? And this is for one, I actually like this card art. This is one of Mego's better card arts, if you ask me. I like the fact you can see the character is actually on the front. I think this is from the movie as well. And then you have the toy version. Get you a close up here of Harold. Did they get it right, guys? I don't know. What I do know is that, and we talked about this, and I read a lot of you guys' comments. We talked about the price point with these figures. NECA is, I want to say considerably higher, but I can't say that now. They're more like, it's about maybe a $10, $11 difference. If you're purchasing this guy, the Ghostface Killer, from Target as opposed to off the website, Big Bad Toy Store and other toy websites. But price point, and like I stated this, and I stand by it. Mego absolutely positively has the right to raise their prices. Inflation is hitting everybody. It's the toy market, period. Just the really just consumer market, period. Retail market, everything's being hit. Everything is going up price wise. But we just want to focus on the toys. And Mego, one of Mego's ultimate weapons, if you will, is the fact that they keep their prices very low, very inexpensive. This Harold Scarecrow creature, $14, $15. That's not bad. That's not bad. But now that Mego's probably going to it's starting to hit the $20 mark before tax. Now it's going to make you think. Now you have to, and I know a lot of you guys said, well, we want to look at quality. We want to look at things of that nature. Let's bring my Misfits Christmas ghoul down. Once again, NECA Toys has everything covered. From musical groups with their monster mascots, if you will, to movies, you name it, they have it. I don't know who could do battle with the Misfit. The creature. Let's bring the creature out. do battle. As we move everything around, we'll just keep it like this. Your thoughts, guys. The creature is, once again, I think this is a fair matchup because the creature is more of a classical horror, and this is more of a just horror period. He's a mascot, but he still looks frighteningly fantastic. But the point is, if you saw both of these figures on a toy store shelf, which one would you get? Listen, guys, there's always going to be a right and wrong answer, but it's a massive gray area in between that right and wrong answer. And what I mean by that, guys, is that, you know, you're going to have your say. You're entitled to it. That's why we've created this video. You're going to have your Creature from the Black Lagoon fans, and you're going to have your musical rock band fans that are extremely familiar with who the Misfits are and who this mascot and this character is. Looks, he comes with hands, an additional head sculpt. Fantastic in every way. This is more modern horror, though. It's modern horror. It's geared and designed to look cool to the point where it could pull fans from the Creature from the Black Lagoon over to this Neca Misfit figure. That's how cool it is. And that's what makes Neca so tough to deal with. That's what makes them so special. You can't lock into one thing that Neca does good because they do a lot of things good. They do a lot of things great. Mego, once again, is still trying to find, you know, that next level, that next gear, if you will. But guys, you can make a decision. Which one grabs you? Which one reaches out from the toy store shelf and literally jumps into your shopping cart? I've heard some of you guys that saw the first video said it was too tough to make a decision like that. I have to purchase both of them. Listen, if you have those, if your pockets are that deep, fantastic. But for the blue collar, hardworking people, collectors that can only afford one of these guys, that's the decision you have to make. Which one goes home with you? The creature or the misfit? Let's keep it moving, guys. I'm just having too much fun down here. It's raining again outside. We're nice and warm and toasty here in the museum. I didn't do that right, did I? Oh, well, you know what? That's okay. For now. Modern horror. Classical horror. Once again. Versus, let's bring our Wolfman, which I love very much. I love this Wolfman figure, Mego figure. Fantastic. And here is our Nightbreed. I'm not going to call this guy's name. If you know this guy's name, leave it in the comment section. I'm just curious. I'm curious to see who really knows this figure, this character from the movie Nightbreed. Neca leaves no stone unturned. They're constantly finding B-level type movies, getting licensing rights for those characters, those monsters, those creatures. And putting them in 8-inch action figure form and doing it fantastically. And here's Mego's Wolfman. We've been waiting on a universal Wolfman. We finally got him. But a lot of people weren't satisfied with him. Something about the style guide where, you know, the Wolfman has to have these certain colors and patterns to his face. Stay true with the universal licensing rights, I guess. However you want to slice it, this is still a fantastic figure. But if you could just purchase one of these fantastic monsters or creatures, which one would it be? A movie that you probably haven't heard of before, or the Wolfman? And I'll play a little devil's advocate here, seeing as it's Halloween. Whether you know this movie, Nightbreed, I'm the type of person, I'm the type of collector that if something grabs my eye, if it's unique enough, if it's different enough, if it's special enough, if it's all those things, more than likely I'm going to walk out of the store with it in my shopping cart. I almost gave his name away. But this is such a random character, such a random creature, monster, whatever you want to call it. I mean, because what's the definition of a monster really anyway? A psychopath that goes around stalking and killing people, or a real monster? Who knows? That's the fun part, right? It's all the same to us. But quality makes a difference. And quality was called in to question on the Mego werewolf, or Wolfman, if you will. Quality with the card art. Quality with the clothing. Quality with the head sculpt. Make a decision, guys. Make a decision, but more importantly, live with your decision. The Nightbreed character or the Wolfman. Fair? M.I.B? Who am I to say? But we do like to stir the pot here at the M.I.B Master Toy Museum. We like to pit these two toy companies that's producing monster figures at a high clip, extremely high rate. I like to pit them against each other every so often. Horror can be, it doesn't have to be necessarily, let's bring my nada down. Horror doesn't have to be blood and guts and chainsaws and things of that nature. It could be movies that make you wonder, make you think, and still scare you to death in the process. And I think the movie They Live did that. The ability to see creatures and see them for what they really truly are, by just simply putting on a pair of sunglasses and living in a world where these creatures exist. That's horror all in its own right. And then we'll bring in, let's say, The Exorcist. Beautifully done. You want to call it more modern horror, you can. At least it was made in the 1970s. The movie came out in the 1970s, and it's not a 1930s, 1940s, or 1950s, even a 1960s horror movie. It's not a classical horror. I would say that you would have to say that the Exorcist is more modern horror. And I think Mego did a fantastic job on this. We'll pit these two together and see which one you guys would purchase out of the toy store aisle. And and listen, don't just listen to me, guys. Listen to yourself. You have roughly $40 in your pocket, which means you really only can afford to get one of these figures if you're trying to make a decision just between these two figures. Which one would it be? Really a iconic movie character, now in Mego form, maybe 6-inch form, because it's not 8 inches. And then a super cool movie that anybody growing up in the 80s absolutely remembers, especially if you're a big sci-fi horror buff like I am, and a fan of Roddy Piper, who's the main character in this film. This figure comes with a lot of fantastic weapons. That's just Neca's ability to, really breathe life into these characters. Technology has changed in the last 30, 40 years as well. And Neca has that at its disposal. And we talked about the dime store charm of Mego figures. Not necessarily trying to catch the extreme likeness of the characters and the monsters that they're producing, manufacturing, but just enough that it's the person, it's the character, it's the monster. Just enough of that mixed in with the dime store charm. Guys, I already know which one I would pick, but it's not for me to say. It's not for me to say, guys. Let's put him back up here. And guys, listen, we have more creatures, more monsters. Looking at our Candyman over there. Let's bring him front and center. Here's our Candyman. Another modern character, modern horror character that Mego's trying to really catch up to Neca as far as the modern monsters, modern horror. But let's bring in Neca's Candyman. Give me a half of a second, guys, so we can bring in Neca's Candyman. Hold on one second. And we are back, guys. Both Candymans from Neca Toys and Mego Corp. And this is kind of what I was talking about, referring to earlier, about the dime store charm, but just enough of the character's likeness that lets you know exactly who and what that character is. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite monsters that Mego has created. Because I think it's very simple in design. It's the Candyman character, albeit he could have monstrous looking faces. This is pretty much how he appeared to us. Played by famed actor Tony Todd, who reprised the role for Farewell to the Flesh, the second part of Candyman. I believe that came out in 1992, if I'm mistaken. Or 95, this was 92 or 95. Let us know in the comments section, guys, for all you Candyman fans. But you have both of these figures, and you know we would do some likeness comparisons, or you know some comparisons where you have one from each company, and this is one of these rare moments where Mego is trying to bring their modern horror game up to the next level, and they're doing it with this Candyman Farewell to the Flesh 8-inch action figure. He wins on price point. What else does he win in? We would like to know your thoughts on that, guys, right underneath this video in the comment section. But this is Neca. The card art alone is fantastic. It tells a story all by itself. Beautiful card art. Very graphic in nature. And then the piece de resistance. The fantastic head sculpts, the fantastic clothing, the fantastic figure. There's the bloody hook that replaces where his hand used to be at. There's the other hand. Look at the fur, the detail in this coat, all the layers to this figure. You know, and a lot of my subscribers and awesome viewers to our channel pointed out that yes, Neca has more accessories. They have those extra head sculpts. That does make a big difference. But some people pointed out that it didn't matter to them. Price point was strong enough alone that Mego could stand on its own. And a lot of my viewers who are just diehard Mego fans said it didn't matter that Neca they're better accessorized, if you will. They're better detailed. The clothing's better. Everything's better. It didn't matter to them. The only thing that mattered is that, you know what, Mego is back. And I absolutely positively understand that. And if that's what you're gonna say to yourself while you're standing in a toy store aisle facing both of these figures that's sitting on a toy store shelf staring back at you, if that's what you're going to go with, I have to respect you. But the question is, can you? It's easy to talk about it. It's another thing to actually see these beautiful figures in the store and say, you know what? What's the difference of another $11 or $12? I might as well pick up the one that I get more bang for my buck. There's the bloody rib case with the bees coming out of it. Like I said, the clothing, both of the head sculpts, everything, the clamshell sealing, it's just fantastic. It's sealed, a clamshell, you name it. What's the difference? Your opinions, guys, your thoughts. I know somebody's saying, well, M.I.B, this is not fair. This is not right. This is not supposed to be happening like this. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Bring this guy over there. Why are you doing this? Well, guys, life isn't fair, as we all know. Somebody was going to make this video. Somebody was not going to sugarcoat the obvious. You have two toy stores, or toy companies basically, vying for your money, your hard-earned money. As we look at the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, who could he beat from this lineup? Honestly, I don't think he could beat anybody. But he's still a great toy. That doesn't take away the fact that these are all great toys. But we have to know, guys. We have to ask ourselves, does $11 really matter if you see these toys on a toy store shelf? It's an $11 difference between Mego and Neca. Would that prevent you from purchasing some of these more expensive deluxe figures that Mego has already made a version of? This is our universal mummy. I mean, who could he do battle with? He's one of the few that's just fantastic. I think he's unique enough. This Boris Karloff universal mummy monster. He's unique enough that if you walked into a toy store and all these figures were on the toy store shelf, I could see a lot of the younger generation, and that's where we want to gear this towards. I could see a lot of the younger generation purchasing this figure, purchasing the Nosferatu figure. Not so much the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because he has to, you have to be a fan of that movie. Your thoughts, guys, your opinions. Do we need a part 3 to this? Because There's still a ton of Neca monsters that I have out there, and there's a ton of Mego monsters that I have out there. Do we need a part 3? We'll have to let you decide. You know the routine, guys. We're going to return with more fun. But for now, God bless. Stay safe. And keep collecting.